Today I make my mind to defeat Ding Liren with only pawns. That's why I converted every piece into pawns. In the first game, I try to just be normal and put every pawns in front. What we have another piece like we don't even have knights to develop, but he just get a great position and activate the queen literally very fast. Now I can't block with any other piece, so I just have to move the king and after literally just little after moves, he just checkmated me under 12 move. Can you believe this? That's why I add another layer of pawn. I started the game with classic e4 this time and he responded with e5. But what we have, I'm just going to push the pawn. That's all I have. So the idea is simple, just push the pawn. Yeah, every pawn we need to push. But in this game as well, like the previous one, I tried my best literally to not just blunder everything and keep the all pawn together, but he just literally checked and made me I buy another layer of security. This time I started the game with h5 and I just play g5 and support the pawn. And guess what? I blunder a pawn in just less than 5 moves. I just completely blunder the pawn and but we have a great position. But after some moves, I don't know how Ding Liren Knights get entry into my position and gets a complete outpost. I just want to kick this knight, but that's not happen. He just plays the knight like a G. I just want to complete, and he sacrificed the bishop and queen take the pawn. I have nothing to do. I just kick the queen. That's all I have. I kick the queen, but this is also blunders. Now I have nothing to move. I can just push the pawn, and I push literally the move g4 and hung another pawn. And not only I hung the pawn, and I hung mate into literally queen to c1 checkmate. But this is not the end. I add another layer of security. In this game, I'm going to start with g6, and after pawn to pawn, I'm going to just take with yep. I'm going to take with the f pawn, and after pawn take, if take, I'm going to take with the pawn. That's all I have in my mind. Is that going to happen? No. Linklater doesn't take the pawn because that's this. Okay, now he attacks with the rook. What I have is just we can't attack the rook because we're just going to harm the pawn. But I offer a pawn trade. That doesn't happen, and now I just want to push the pawn and nothing else. I place every pawn. He trade with me, and now I play the move d4 is going to be my next move, and I can play the move f4 as well to just protect the pawn. That is on e5. We have just nothing, and now the idea is just to place we can place the king on literally f2, but that is not working right now because why we need to push the king but when we have multiple pawn offside, so why not? But he just moved the rook back and forth and he trade with me. I'm just going to take back now. c4 is going to be the best move, and maybe the e4 is looking good, but he offered me a pawn trade. I just going to agree with that. And now we can take the pawn that is on b6 as well, and we can protect. He attack my pawn that is on the d5. I just protect and bishop go back. He just moving back and forth because he have not too much moves that he can play. Now what we have to do is just protect every pawn. I attack the queen, he protect, and now we have just to play the c4. We can play the c3. We can play d3 just to make every pawn together because if every pawn is scattered, we are going to lose this game. That's why I have just one idea in mind. It's just to protect every pawn with a pawn. This is all we have as well. So I just push the pawn. And now we can attack the knight as well, but that going to just hang our pawn and it's going to be a big weakness for me. That's why I'm not pushing the pawn to attack the knight, and we are not in a hurry. But he just dinged it and just placing the queen on a great diagonal so he can pin the pawns to the king. I'm just going to push the pawn. That's all I have because what we can do now is just to just push the pawn and win the game. So I just having one thing is just to push the pawn, and now he just sacrificed the knight. Why he sacrificed the knight? Because he get the pawn as well. So I can play the king to f3, king to g4 is also makes sense, but I just attack the rook. Is he going to sack another rook? Absolutely not. I think he's going to play the rook to a6. That is going to be the primary idea. Yes, of course, and I'm just going to attack and I hung the pawn. It's not a hanging, by the way. It's just a tempo move that I can play forward move with a pawn to b. 4. Now I cannot play the move b3 because I'm going to lose the pawn that is on a3. That's why I can't do that. I can fork the pawn and the queen, but I don't want to because that also looking like a losing position. But I just trade the pawn and he sacrificed the bishop as well. So now what he have just two rook, knight, bishop, and a queen. If I trade literally the pieces, then I think I am able to checkmate the king. But what I have in my mind is just to next move is going to be the forking the dark square bishop and queen. But the queen just infiltrate. The Ding Liren successfully infiltrate with the queen. I fork the queen and the rook, and I am able to win the rook. But I fork the bishop and the king first, and now I am taking the rook. Before I'm take the rook, I'm going to just give a check. That is also looking good because we are going to lose that pawn anyway. So why not with a force? We are going to lose that pawn with a force, and now I'm going to take the rook. That is all I have in my mind, and now he has just left with a like queen, a rook, and a knight. So just don't blunder anything seriously, and then we can able to win the game. But he just checked me, and now he play the move. If you ignore, he is just going to move the king, and now rook to f8 is going to be disaster. That's why I play the move king to e1, so I can play the move rook f2. It's going to be checkmate in 2, but I just save my king from that. But I think we are not going to save too much because now every pawn is going to fall because the queen is just in the middle. So what we can expect? If I hung this checkmate, probably I have to delete my account, but we are not have to. I just push the pawn to kick the knight. If there is no rook on the back line, I am able to make a point, but not now because rook is protecting against rook. I have this idea. It's just to push the pawn in the corner of the board and win the game. After the trade of pawn, he sacrificed the knight and gobble every pawn that I have. Just literally every pawn. He eat every pawn with the queen. And I, for the fifth time in the video, I blunder again checkmate. King to f1, rook d1, checkmate. But I'm not going to stop here. Another layer of pawns. Pawn take f7, checkmate the game, and before it started.